Okay, we'll start the motion of the meeting. What day is it? 19th. Apologies for absence.
Apologies from David and from Andy. And his working days working.
And Malcolm, obviously.
And Malcolm. Yeah, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't heard from him. Okay. I would be surprised if he'd been there anyway, actually.
Declarations. On table, shop, yeah. Shop. Yeah, okay. Public session. Red from the Brent Knoll Community Shop. Would you like to speak?
Yes. Doctor, you distributed those. I mean, the.
Well, I'll around you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I understand that you have some concerns about the fixing of the awning. I thought what we might do is just start off with the objective. Why are we even putting one there to start with? Well, it is to reduce the sunlight going in through the glass doors and windows. If we have the awning there, that will reduce our energy usage by reducing the cooling that's required. It would be electrically operated awning. The size of it is the width. It goes between the two brick pillars. It's 3.5 metres width, and it'll extend out to the front by 2 metres. It'll have a slope on of 14 degrees for the rain to be able to release from it. There's going to be an automatic speed indicator, which will, if the wind gusts at all, it'll automatically bring the awning back in to its closed position. The colour of the awning is going to be exactly the same as the shop colour for their aprons, which is a blue. The fascia, Pelman, as you look at it there, will have Brent Knoll Community Centre written across it.
Community Centre?
Sorry, Community Shop written across it, and it will be white letters on the blue background. The actual awning itself is going to be fixed between the two brick pillars by two 60mm by 60mm channels. You're concerned about the fixings. The fixings themselves are the best solution you're going to get because they're not going to use expanding bolts. They're going to use Chemfix bolts, which is a 2-part resin, which is inserted, and then the bolt goes in there and it sets. It doesn't have to expand in the brick and split it, so it'll be chemically fixed as far as that's concerned. You won't see the bolt heads because they'll have caps on, so that should be as far as that's concerned. We've had the surveyor out from the installation company. He's done the measurement of the designs, which he seems quite comfortable about. He didn't see any issues because they could fix to the brick pillars. So if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of them. Right.
I was just going to ask, can we know who the construction company are?
Yes, it's a very large company indeed. I think it's on there. It tells you, I think, how many employees nationwide.
That's them, yeah?
Yes. So it's a very large company, well experienced. So, and I have met the surveyor, and he did see one that actually knew what he was talking about, which was quite good.
So, right, just Tari speaking. So, in regards to, I don't think when I originally put some comments and I was concerned about the fixings, it was more about the undertaking of the whole thing. So,
right.
That might be a lapse on our side that we hadn't had a meeting to discuss the awning. So, ultimately, with regards to the funding of the awning, is the funding coming primarily from the shop? So, the parish council will not be expected to fund the awning.
It's all coming from the shop.
With regards to fixing the awning, that's going to be funded from the shop.
It is.
If the awning should rip off during a gust, which I'm hoping it won't given what you've said, and it damages the building, will your insurance ensure that you cover the cost for things like that, or will that be the responsibility of us as the
I can't answer the insurance one. I can answer anything about the awning you want to
Right,
know,
okay.
the fixed yeah, but not the insurance.
So maybe
But
that's
it's a good
maybe
point,
it's
and
a-
we'll
it's
certainly
just-
take that back.
Worst case scenario, if there was
Yes.
vandalism to it or anything and it damages the actual building, obviously it's our building. We just
Yes.
want to make sure that we're then not liable for a cost with regards to that. I think the Nationwide Home Innovations, apart from supplying the awning, are they doing the installation
They are.
themselves as well? So they will obviously put some kind of warranty and guarantee on it.
They will indeed.
Okay. That's the only questions I had. It was just
Okay.
as I said, to understand.
Can I just ask one question? What are we being asked to decide?
There are three things really, I think, is what I see is on the agenda. One is the permission from the council for the shop to place an awning on the building.
Yeah.
Because obviously the building belongs to us, so therefore obviously that permission is sought. The second thing is the request for the council to contribute, to put it through their own application process and therefore get a 50% reduction in the planning fee. So basically they're asking us to put the planning application in, and then we get a 50% reduction. And I presume the shop then will reimburse the council on the 50%. That's how I'm assuming it.
Absolutely.
And the third thing was the fixing concerns, and they were the three things that I was aware of, the main issues. On the fixing, can I just ask a question? Paul Martin rang me yesterday to say that he had indicated to the shop that the fixings that were being planned he was not happy with. Is that as you understand it?
Not at all, no. He's not conveying me the fixings. There's nothing wrong with the fixing. Ken Fix is certainly the best solution without a doubt. Does less damage to the brick and is extremely strong. It's a two-part resin.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly adequate for this sort of thing.
Oh,
And the fact that it's got a detector on that if the wind speed does get too high, it will retract it, is even better, really. I'll be honest with you, I have no problem with this whatsoever.
Do you know what the clearance is when the awning's fully extended from the ground to
They haven't indicated that on there, but I'm going to. I mean, it's going to be well cleared of any possible headroom at all. We've been miles away from it.
Any other questions? Amanda?
So I was just going to ask, did Paul Martin elaborate on these concerns?
No, he didn't. He just simply rang me. He knew that we were discussing it at the meeting this evening, and said, you just need to be aware of the fact that I'm happy with basically the awning as it stands, but he said, I do not think the fixings are the right fixings necessarily for the cosmetic appearance of the finish. And he told me he'd actually put that to you guys.
Yes, but he didn't realise there was caps going to go on the end of it.
Right, okay. So you solved the problem with him then?
Well, I haven't yet, because this was yesterday, I understand. So, but yes, I mean, we solved it before.
Okay, fine.
Bob?
Just one question in terms of the use of the awning. You're saying it'll only be in use when the shop is open, so when you're shut, it'll always be closed. 'Cause
Yes,
obviously
that's the plan.
we get a lot of kids down here
Oh, yes.
who tend to hang off anything that potentially is a reachable reach. So yeah, as long as
No, they'll have to go back in. That's part of the closing procedure.
I've just got one. Is that the other one there, Bob? Where the bolts are going in, the 780 to down to the frame? Is that points? They go along the pillars like that?
Yes, yeah, those are the spacing.
What colours are the other points?
They're going to be, it's on there, it says it's anthracite.
Colour texture amplified, which is, so it goes with the brickwork.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I can't make it any more exciting.
Well, I'm disappointed it's not pink. I think it's hot pink.
We have a bit.
That would be
I would, Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yeah.
proposal that we accept.
It's
It's
on
on
the
the agenda.
It's on the agenda later on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm happy.
It's on item number.
Okay, cheers, Red. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry,
Right.
getting myself to choose.
Planning matter, number 4. This is Colin, yeah.
Oh, is anybody going to speak? Does anyone?
No.
Did you want to
Sorry.
The only comments we have is the proximity within our place to their new extension. The plan I see up there doesn't seem
So
to be.
you're here, yeah?
No, the small one.
The other one that had the number.
No, the one with the red line around it.
That one?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's us.
Yeah, it seems to me that is not into the right scale, because I think I sent a letter to,
It's not a scale drawing. It doesn't.
but it makes you think that it's quite a way distance from the adjoining property.
Can I just confirm, you're the gentleman who sent the details about how many metres it is away?
Yeah.
Okay, just so I understand that it was the
Yeah.
same person. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Can you put on?
See,
Location?
Proposed
Both floors?
existing.
it blocks the site of the building as well.
Okay. Can
Maybe
we?
24, I don't know.
Yeah,
30.
sorry,
no, that's no good at all.
Existing floor?
Existing floor, yes, that may be. Yes, that's good. That's a good start. Okay. Can we put it down a minute? Down. Right, Lou? Okay. If you look at this property, you see that picture, okay? That is the front door of the existing house, which faces, if you like, onto the back of number 55.
Yeah.
Okay, this at the moment is a carport, so this is just a flat roof, and you've got this accommodation here. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, actually 3 bedrooms. There's a void, it says, in the ceiling here. At the rear of the property, there is like a conservatory, but that looks out into the fields. So really, you won't see this from the road at all. Can you just go up a minute? Okay. Now, the important thing to bear in mind is this is the front door there. So this is the existing, this is the existing, and this stays exactly the same. There is no build out from that line of the property. Okay? So if we now go to proposed, please. Okay. Can we? That's better. Okay. Just for clarity, this will be the rear of the property, and what they're seeking to do is to build, well, reconfigure downstairs, but then build a large 4th bedroom ensuite with a Juliet balcony, sliding doors that overlook the fields. So you won't see that from the road. It won't be of any spectrum to anybody. Okay? This is the new extension which is proposed on top of what I showed you originally. That's the front door still. The line, if we go up, the line of the building is still the same as it is from the existing property at 55. There is no, it's been like it forever. There's no difference. There's no build out, there's nothing. And you can see this is the 4th bedroom that they're planning, which is, go down again, this here, okay? Right. Now, what have I considered here?
Colin, just to interrupt you there, is it fair to say that the extension they're putting on top runs front to back?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
front to back, yeah.
So there is going to be a change in, because you just said the front of it will not change, but the front will change because it's having a
No,
second
It means
story.
it's coming in.
No,
Yeah.
the boundary
Yeah.
of the property here
Yeah,
will not
yeah.
change. What is going to change
It's the size height.
is the height that's up here.
Mm.
And this is where I think you may have some criticisms, because looking at it, it's like everything else, an architect has just done this, probably without thinking too much, but I can't put words in your mouth. But to my mind, this is the problem, because you may well say it's too high, it's an overdevelopment of a small property. Bear in mind it's a semi-detached property. These windows are the ones that are going to cause the problem of overlooking. And essentially, my feeling is that they're unnecessary, because you could put Velux windows in here, which would still give you the same amount of light in that fourth bedroom as you would get from those. Velux windows would not prove any disturbance to anyone's privacy. So those are, I can only point out what I feel is probably wrong in this particular or what I would deem.
Would you mind just go, so that drum there in the kind of the middle one out of the three is quite an interesting one, because it looks at it on the side, so you can see like the pitch of the roof. Have we got an equivalent of what it was before, so we can see how much the height is increased on the existing? So that is still the same.
It's the height of the existing. If you can see you can see it's going. There's the existing. It's just going straight across.
So literally, if we thought that black line that's slightly thicker,
Yeah.
that would literally just go straight across.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's quite a substantial.
Yes. So essentially, if I were to offer planning criticisms on this, I would say probably it may well be considered as an overdevelopment. Notwithstanding that, I think it's not addressing the overlooking problem that has been highlighted by the people at 55, and I think would be of concern to them. The rear of the property won't affect anything because it's looking straight out over the field.
Can we have a look at the first thing we looked at? Existing, yeah.
Existing, yeah.
Right,
You go back to existing.
So, the location plan, sorry.
Location.
Yeah,
Location plan. Okay, so
it would be looking at the property directly in front of it then.
yeah, so the important thing is it's not coming out with that line, it's coming out with that line. That stays exactly the same. And that is the same distance from the property here. Okay? There's no reduction in the distance between the two properties. It stays the same. What is being altered is the height of this property together with windows that I would deem to be not in consideration of the existing property. That's
Any questions?
On what grounds can we obviously
Comment.
overdevelopment, I guess is it?
well. I think if I cannot put words.
I was only going to say that the first statement had the thing that seems to be the concern is the loss of privacy for the neighbours and the overlooking. Those are both legitimate concerns.
Yeah. My question is what you said, Colin, is if they redesigned the bit facing 55 and put Veluxes, 2 or 3 Veluxes in there, which is big enough to take 3 Veluxes, that'll give it the daylight that then 2 windows would produce. So that will cut, there'd be no privacy, no scenes of privacy out of the background in 55. That's my only comment. Because it's not changing, like you say, it's not changing the actual, the size of it coming out, it's just going up, but the front 2 windows that's being put in are overlooking 55.
Yeah. So, and you also may consider it may well be overdevelopment of an existing property, but it's quite a large
huge.
It's quite a large building, you know, it occupies the entire width of the site.
Can we just ask what size bedroom is it? What size house is it?
I can't, what size house?
Yeah, what size, sorry,
It's
bedroom?
3 bed going to 4, I think you said.
It's
Three
3 bed.
three beds
Three
existing,
currently.
Yeah.
and
I
this
know, because
will be, this will be a 4th bedroom with an ensuite.
But do we know the actual size of the plant itself, the actual building? The footprint of it, is it 1,000 square foot or 900 square
I
foot?
don't think, to be honest,
You don't know?
I don't think that matters.
No.
But those are my criticisms,
Right.
looking at the plan.
I would assume, given it's gone to planning, it's almost certainly not covered in permitted development, so they will be taken in the site into consideration then.
Mm.
So, well, I'm quite happy to make a proposal that we object on the fact that it's loss of privacy to the neighbours, that if they can readjust it, then we would revisit it and potential overdevelopment.
Right, I'll follow that.
Second that, yeah.
You second that? So all agree?
I'm just going to abstain in case this comes to committee, because if I commit myself here, I can't get involved with some.
I'll push them up, yeah.
So look, just for clarity, we are objecting on the grounds of loss of privacy.
Yeah.
And overdevelopment.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the principal reasons. We're not asking you to redesign.
No, I don't think we can.
No, those are our objections. Yeah.
Overdevelopment, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all agree on that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Number 5, oh, there we go, I've got the rubbish. Do you want to what's the shit here?
We need a chairman.
Colin? Sure. Give me a shout. We're on number 5, it's about shop.
Oh, right.
It's the clips again. We'll get them in there.
Sorry.
That's fine. They're all vampires.
All right, everyone. Item 5 then on the agenda is to consider the proposals from the shop and to seek permissions to erect an awning to the exterior of the building and to request that the parish council submit this application in order to allow for a reduced planning fee in the sum of 50%. The parish council to consider the fixing arrangements of this awning as part of the permission. We can either take them all together or we can take one at a time. What would you prefer? Or
I'd quite like to surmise kind of what Red said and also kind of what I had asked for, because I think I kind of stirred the pot with some of my questions. So I think my original concern with regards to the awning is it hadn't come to committee and we really didn't have any idea except for an awning was going to go up. And I think we've since provided some guidance from the architect, also from the installer on what's going to be done. I think given the presentation that Red has given today, I don't have concerns if those comments that I raised are to go ahead, which were the fixing is going to be done by an authorised company, not off job down the road, that the awning will be funded entirely from the community shop. If there needs to be a replacement of the awning, that is funded by the community shop. That all the fixing work is taken by the community shop, and if there is any damage to the building whatsoever, that is covered by the shop's insurance, not ours. So if we can get confirmation on all of that, then I'm quite happy to propose that we approve this.
I would second it on those.
Can I just make one point about the confusion that arose? Because one of the reasons why there was delay was because we were never formally requested to give permission for the awning. There was some informal discussions that took place at surgeries and one or two other places, but the shop management committee never actually came to us and said, can we have a formal permission from the council to erect an awning? And would you be prepared to cover 50% through your own application? That's where the delay came, because I think there was a lot of assumption that, oh yeah, we'd heard about it, so therefore we'd give you permission. And that wasn't the case. This is why we had to have this kind of formal part of the process. So it was done in the proper way. That was the reason why the delay came.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to go with the suggestions that have been made. I mean, for me, obviously we have a role here as both the local council, but also we're not a tenant, we're the landlord. So we do need to be in the loop formally, and therefore this meeting can record that and see that we've gone through a proper process and it all fits in with the lease and stuff. In terms of the fee, we also need to be careful because as a local authority, we can't just do anybody's planning application on their behalf to get a 50% fee. This one I'm comfortable with because it's our building. So I think we are perfectly legitimate putting it in our name. But equally, if we were seen by the council, Somerset, to be doing something that wasn't right, they're going to start querying stuff. So, as I say, I'm happy with it because it is our building and therefore it's a structure on our building, therefore it makes sense for us to apply.
Jonathan, yeah.
Do we know that it's actually going to achieve what it's supposed to achieve by blocking out the sun? Because the sun, has any drawings been done to just?
I think one can only assume that the shop have done their homework and they know what they're buying.
It's a very expensive guess otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, we can only assume that.
Might be a good money
Paul will
ask
do that
us.
as part of his plans that he's putting in for the planning application. We'll have to show those sort of.
Well, if we do go ahead with the proposal, maybe when we go back and say for those that are questions, can you confirm they will meet your needs? You are agreeing to the fact that you'll cover all the necessary expenses, that your insurance will cover it. So maybe we could just get confirmation from the shop formally of those things.
I believe that Paul Martin had already been consulted, hadn't he? So we presume that we presume that he would, if it wasn't going to meet that, he would probably point that out to them, one would imagine.
Ultimately, the shop aren't going to want to spend money.
No,
They'll do what he does.
Oh, no, it doesn't
Who
look like that.
Bob, who will handle the planning application on our behalf, or will the shop committee prepare it and then
So
we will just...
My understanding would be it would be Paul Martin will draw up all the paperwork, but he'll have to do it officially through the clerk.
And his costs will be dealt with by the shop. Okay, well, we've got a proposal from Charlie that we accept, or we permit it, we accept the 50% planning application costs, and we're happy with the fixings. That's a proposal, and it was seconded by Amanda. All those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Well done. Can you get Amy back?
Do we have it? It's very quiet.
Should say
There is it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Number 6, financial report.
Yeah, I mean, normally on this meeting we wouldn't normally have financial because we don't normally have a meeting in August apart from planning. And because there have been a few things that have cropped up, there was an opportunity to take it off the September agenda and deal with it now because none of these are contentious issues. So I thought, right, okay, let's put them on here while we're having a meeting. So there's obviously the statutory approval for August, which has already happened anyway. So the statutory payments go on the 15th. So they've already gone as part of our statutory approval process. But the variable payments haven't been submitted by me, dealt with by me. So we've got Paul Dixon work on the Village Green. There were 2 or 3 items there, I think, weren't there, for Paul, which were done, I think, completed a while back. So struggling around trying to find Paul's invoice.
The trim trail.
Yeah. These are things that we'd agree, not they, and to do back along. And yeah, Paul Dixon. Work carried out at Village Green, preparing a section of fence post and bottom rail and balance beam and climbing frame repair, all as quoted, £507.50. So that's one. The flag pole fixing, of course, we don't need to consider because the outreach. Openreach have paid for that. which is due to Bob's diligence in trying to track the decision maker down.
We have got to pay the £68.40, which was for the base, so
Yeah,
we will agree on that though. That's all.
Yeah, unfortunately, that. And
All happy with that?
that's you.
No, you paid directly, so there's a written receipt. Yeah.
The Somerset Council bin contract. This is a quarterly payment, £640. That's in line. That's the same. They didn't put their costs up this year actually, so it's the same cost as they were last year, and it's a quarterly payment. There was also Clark's Session 10 training. Remember the Session 10 training took place in March or whatever, it seems like a long time ago now. But that was £35. And then we had Steve Skipping, contractor, doing the work, it was the completion of the work that he quoted for Backwell, £864, which is in line with the quote we had. And then finally, there's and I think I sent out a note to everybody saying that my domain suddenly dropped out. The UK domain suddenly dropped one day. I thought, where's that gone? Basically, it expired. And I got onto LCN with the UK domain provider and said, we need to keep it going for a couple of years because I still get, on average, 10 to 15 a week on the old email address. Some people you just can't change them. You know, no matter what you try to do, you can't get them to change the email address. One of them, believe it or not, is Somerset subscription service. Can I get them to change? No, I don't. So, unless you can tell me somebody who I can contact, I would be appreciated.
Is it possible on that email we can put like an out of office message that automatically sends it back saying this email address
I'll try and do
being
that.
monitored or
I'll try and
something
do
like
that.
that?
I'll try and.
And then it means it's at least it's sending an email back.
Most of it's rubbish, to be honest.
But at
I'm not
least
worried
it's going
about
back. So
most of it's rubbish. Probably only about 2 or 3 items are worth worrying about. Now was another one I had trouble with, but I've managed to get them to change now. So hopefully, yeah, I'll have a go at that, see if I can get it changed, get it altered. But as I say, at the moment, it's on here, and I'm getting them just the same as I always was.
Can you do a divert for emails instead of doing all that? You just
So
straight
the
away.
divert system,
Auto forward.
Yeah.
auto forward from .gov.uk.
that only exists for the next 2 years. And then after 2 years,
Yeah.
we're in the same position.
Yeah.
You still got to have it to divert it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, polite message on there, perhaps. Something.
And include the new email address.
So they're the variable payments. There's a couple of others, but they can wait till September.
I have one question on the statement of payments. I didn't understand it. It says it was on the 15th of July and it said Nicholas was the payment, and I have no idea what it means.
Nicholas. What was it for? How much?
That's exactly it. It just says Nicholas on the Unity statement.
I think there was an error there actually, if I remember right. Is there no payment against it?
There is an amount, but I don't know. I just wrote down it's on the 15th of July, Nicholas. It wasn't on this, it was on the Unity
It's on the
statement.
Unity Trust.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't understand. All the others were quite transparent, so they'd say things like Paul Martin, but the Nicholas one, I didn't understand, so I just had a
Can you let me have a look at it?
Yeah,
And I'll
so
come back to
15th
another
of
email.
July.
15th of July.
and it says Nicholas.
Nicholas. Just trying to think Nicholas.
Okay.
I'll have a look at that. There's obviously an explanation for it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what it is. Okay.
Do we have to make?
Yeah, just on those variable payments.
Propose that all those payments are paid.
All agree with the payments? Jane? All agree to payments? Yeah.
The circulating payments list that was sent out today, and also there's an updated budget up to July. This is the first 4 months of the financial year. There was one error on there which got picked up on. I'm sure everybody else picked up on the same error. It's been corrected in any event, but I'll resend it in the correct form to you. Just that one of the calculation cells can carry forward incorrectly. That was all. And there was another change we made, and that was on the footpaths, there was nothing showing on the footpaths. And we transferred Ian Durston's payment now to footpaths rather than general maintenance. You know, you can put these things wherever you want to put them, basically, but it does make more sense to put it in footpaths, to be honest. So I've altered that. Apart from that, it should be correct. If anybody's got anything else to share with me?
Anything else, Rowan? No?
Nothing to decide on that, just any questions you want to raise. Okay.
Right, number 7, matters for consideration.
Um,
ANPR.
Well, Bob and I had a meeting with the officer concerned who'd been sent to us from Portishead actually to consider the ANPR and various issues that we've had. He wasn't able to give us any particular help on that visit. He took that as an information visit. So he was taking back the information Bob and I gave him in terms of our concerns. And we're still waiting for that to come back with a material answer. In the meanwhile, the ANPR remains there. And that's all I can say. I can't say any more about the ANPR now. It remains there until they come back to us to tell us whether they want us to make any changes or any other things that will alter what we do presently.
Have they given us any indication of timeline? So is that just indefinite?
Well, you know, the police work in quite slow ways, really. I mean, I don't think we ever expect anything from the police within a month. Certainly, I think we would have been surprised if anything come back within a month. It is about a month now, actually. With holidays and everything else, I think you can expect it to be another month or so, probably, in all fairness. But they will come back to us. I've already written to him once and asked him for any update. And he said he'd been away, so he hadn't been able to help us. So, not much to report on that, really, other than just carry. What I will say is that SID is now back at the Evolis headquarters, and it's been repaired. So the SID should come back anytime soon. It'll be delivered back to Stuart's place in Somerset. Interestingly today, they came back to me and said, you have an outstanding invoice from October of 2025. We didn't pay anything for the last repair. And I wondered whether the latest invoice would spur something off, and it did. And they came back, and I did say that this is the first time they've invoiced us. So not to get too panicky about it, we will pay it in due course. So that will be on the next agenda, obviously.
Charlie?
With regards to the SID, I think at the last meeting, the one before, we discussed about replacement of the SID, the fact that it keeps getting damaged. Do we need to put that back onto the agenda to consider whether we need to move the pole it's on? Because I don't want to lose track of that. It's great that we can get them
I'm going
repaired.
to try and meet up with Stuart.
It's on the agenda to meet
Right,
with Stuart to go around and look at the sites
Look at the
Right.
site.
and see what the distances are.
Yeah.
Because we might have to pay for moving some posts further away from
And
the
we
highway.
might
Cost
have some
effective.
approval. And we might have some approval
But we have to get highways
you
to
know,
do it.
before we can change anything. So, but yeah, fair point. I mean, if we keep them getting damage, 400 British Road, you know, it's not two roads, is it really?
Anything on ANPR? No? Hills to levels updated.
I have no information on it.
So the only update on that at the moment is we have been contacted again by the lady from the FWAG who wants to have a further discussion. She is awaiting now a response from us. So Andy is aware that he needs to get back to her.
Okay. Alright, website management.
Yeah, okay, this is an interesting one because as Jonathan and Charlie know, we've tried to get this thing up and running, and it is up and running, it's working fine. The big problem comes when it comes to updating all of the community stuff. I'm keeping the parish council stuff is okay, that's all updating. I'm updating that regularly. But the other stuff is a different ballgame. I've realised, of course, Charlie and Jonathan, you know, you're both busy people, and it's not always easy to fit in sessions that they want to fit in their times and so forth. So I had a good think about it over the weekend, and it occurred to me that Debs, who worked with David Wiggins' daughter, updated our website very successfully over a number of years. and it occurred to me that it might be worth considering, and Andy's very much in favour of this as well, considering asking her a fee to do the updating of the website, except for the council. The council I will continue with, but she would do all the other stuff, including trying to pretty it up, make it a bit more attractive, all the things that we talked about, and do all the community stuff on there, updating it. It would all come through the clerk, so she wouldn't be there sort of trying to make decisions of whether she should put something on there or not, because it will come through me, but it will be passed on directly to her.
I mean, it came through at £20 an hour, is that?
£20 an hour.
And that,
£20 an hour.
£20, and that is the actual fee, is it?
2 hours a week she reckons to do it, based on what she did before with her old website. She reckoned it was two hours a week, so it's about £160 a month, £1,900 a year. The question is whether you regard that as a reasonable fee to pay for a really active, really all singing and dancing website, updated
Any
regularly.
questions on that in the end?
I think that's quite expensive.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of money to be paying when I think we originally went down the website route that it was self-manageable and that we would be able to take care of it.
But I can see what Owen's saying, you two are hard at work and busy and that, like we just ain't got the time, you know,
Yeah, I've got no time.
That's what I mean, so-
Well, in fairness, I have offered twice to update it, so.
I think it's a good deal.
Yeah,
£20 an hour for, doing.
Hang on a minute,
To do
did
that.
you just say that you were able to do it?
I offered twice to do it. So,
Okay, so why didn't that?
why hasn't it come to,
it did. In 2 meetings, I've officially offered my time, so in recording
why hasn't
meetings.
anything done then?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for so long now, and I believe the last time we spoke, Charlie, you were talking about getting some training obviously on there. I don't quite know what happened with that.
So,
Materials?
I did speak to you, you sent me the training materials, which I've done. I then asked you for the credentials, you didn't send them through. And then in 2 subsequent meetings, I had said that I'm free the following Friday if we wanted to get together, and you said yes, and that didn't happen. So I'm assuming you were busy and things didn't happen, so maybe we need to formalise when we could do it. But I suppose.
I mean, clearly, if you're happy to reinstate that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel as though we put a lot of pressure on councillors' time, you know, for doing things on a voluntary basis. And, you know, Andy, I had a long chat with Andy in the week, and he said, look, you know, we've got to get out of this habit of expecting councillors to do more and more things. If things need doing, then we should, this is Andy's view, things should be paid for. That's his view.
So I
You may have
guess-
a different view.
I was going to say, I don't agree with paying for everything if there's things that we can do. And if people are volunteering to do things, and that's, I don't know, £2,000 for the year, and then we need to pay £2,000 for something out here, or wherever it is, that's money that's still in the pot if we've got someone who's volunteering to do it.
I think my only concern is £2,000 was one-off is fine, but this is 2,000 ongoing, so 10 years, that's 20,000.
Yeah, it'll probably go up next year.
Exactly, and if she can't do it, who would replace her? And I think we just need to be mindful of that. So I'm not shutting it down.
Okay, and then, yes, I think you must be mindful then, Charlie. If you're going to do it, you will do it. Because the same applies to you as the same applies to this girl that's offered to do it. If you're going to do it, you've got
I appreciate that, Colin. I'm reluctant to do it now. Now my offer has not been taken up.
Yeah,
on.
Can I suggest then that Owen and you coordinate and have a further meeting and thrash out what you feel is the best and how you're going to go about it, and then report back as to how you feel you're going to go about it. And then
There is another alternative, and that is that we use Deb's service to get the whole thing up and running for 12 months. So it's all ticking. It's not ticking along as well as it should. And she can get it up to scratch, and then we don't need to hire her for more than 1 year. We don't have to be every year. If we say to her next March or April, look, actually, Deb's done a great job for us in the last 12 months. We think we can now take it over because you've done that work for us. I think that would equally be acceptable.
I personally don't have a problem with someone else doing it. My concern is committing ourselves to a £2,000 administrative fee year on year. And I think we need to consider how other parish councils do this, manage it between themselves. I didn't think when we originally went down the aubergine route, when we were looking at all the costs, at no time were we saying, oh, by the way, there's also a £2,000 admin cost that's coming up.
Can I suggest then that you and Owen meet up before the next meeting to discuss what can be done by yourself and that part, and if you all agree it, if you two agree it, at the next meeting, then we don't go ahead and look for somewhere else to do it, you'll be willing to do it, for the next meeting.
I said I'm happy to consider
If you meet
to do it as well. So I'm just concerned that we would blindly approve £2,000 a year. So also the scope of what she's doing, I know that's based on what it was previously, but has she looked at how the new website works? Has she got to do some training herself?
She will have to do something. She have agreed that.
But is that going to be part of her £20 an hour? So if it takes her 4 hours, are we paying £80 for her to learn the automation?
She said basically the maximum would be 2 hours. That's the maximum.
But will that get everything we need to be done?
I don't know.
But that's, I guess, my concern.
I don't know.
So.
I think the suggestion from Colin A makes a lot of sense to me, that if the two of you have that conversation before our next meeting, you can assess between you what it is that we need to do or what we need to do.
Yeah.
But at least then we've got a cut off at the next meeting. We make a decision either we're keeping it in-house or we're going outside. We know what we're talking about. At the moment, it feels like we're not quite sure what it all involves. And equally, Charlie, you might not be aware of just how long it's going to take. But you might think actually this is so easy. It's
Just
not
no,
actually.
have you looked recently at what aubergine have done for us as a temporary? Right, if you look on the current website now, I was concerned. Bob sent me the diary for September, and I was not happy that we weren't getting a proper diary on there. So what I did, I asked aubergine whether they could do something for us temporarily for September to get things on there for September. If you look at it, you'll see that it's done in block form. So you simply look under community events and it tells you all the various things.
It was logging.
I could probably show it to you actually. I could probably show it to you, yeah.
So just while I have my calendar up, my next official free day is the 4th of September. So I can do any time in the morning
We've got
or
our
Friday.
next meeting is on the 2nd of September.
Oh,
so
okay. I
it
can't
makes
do
no
before then.
difference.
So I can't do before then. So.
It's going.
That's in a couple of weeks away, then
That's
next
true.
meeting.
It's going to go on and on and on.
Well, not really. I think what we're looking at is a bit of a breakdown in communication here, because Charlie clearly thinks that she was going to do it, but Owen, for whatever reason, hasn't had those messages or hasn't responded to them. So it's a bit of a shame if we've got someone who wants to do it, but it's like you said, you may look
The
at
size
it
of
and
it
go,
might be massive. It might be
Yeah,
whoa, that's
you may look at it and
and
go,
may have to do it.
Exactly.
But I think we need to
Try it
have that.
first.
But the fact is, them two got to meet up before the 2nd, but Charlie can't meet up until the 4th. So we can't decide until the October.
Well, that is in fairness, that's
Even
only
for a
2
couple of
weeks.
hours for an evening or whatever, like we're having a meeting now. I mean, or you're totally.
Would you have to meet up in person, or I don't know how this works, or could you do it on Zoom or something?
See, this is what they've done so far. They're called a community notice group. Okay, and what they've done, all the stuff I gave them, they put on there, and as you can see, it's done in block form. So instead of it being a list, a diary list, they've just done it in block form with everything that's on, with the date that it's on.
Can I just say, is this black and white all the time, is it?
Yeah,
The colour
it's
to it, doesn't that?
It's awful.
What's that colour?
So, I think it's terrible.
As a professional services company,
it's
you shouldn't have too many colours.
Oh, you think it's projector, is it?
That's
Right.
Oh, before there was a lovely pastoral
I
scene.
mean, that's the colour of it on the screen, which is,
Yeah, it's still not very welcome, is it?
it's not meant to be that colourful, actually. I mean,
Well, see other sites,
Yes, it's very
flowers
awful,
on
isn't
it.
Yeah, the one we have, where it's all got, and we could have a Brent Knoll flag in the background, like behind this,
Stuff like that people look attracted to.
Yeah, picture of the knoll.
I don't disagree with that, but to be fair to Aubergine, when we spoke to them, we had the pretty previous one, and the discussion was
Oh,
wanted it to be
it's not-
it wanted to be more utilitarian,
Yes,
people to be able
yes.
to get into say, well, that's
Right.
we haven't given them any photographs properly yet, which they said could be built into it to make it look
and this needs
Right.
to happen.
so this is very much bog standard at the moment.
So basically, they're all the way through the meeting, even down to the sort of fish and chips So it goes, now that gets over a temporary problem. You deal with September. I'm still not very sure I like that form of doing it. I still think it's better with a monthly tab, so you can look on September and you can see what's on September, October, November, December. But they've done this for us because this is the way they would normally work. They don't normally work with diaries in the same way that we wanted them to. That's the problem. And so,
And so just before we move it, because obviously we can talk about it another time, with regards to the scope of what somebody would be doing to maintain that isn't you, it would be maintained in the community notice board, or everything under what's on what?
So whatever we want to do.
Well, she's saying 2 hours a week, so what is that 2 hours a week covering?
Well, it's covering all the updating of all the information that we provide her with. She's going to be doing that.
How long is a piece of string?
Well, no, but then,
You might not have anything for 2 weeks.
Well, basically what she was being asked to do was everything that's not council. So Owen would do the minutes, agendas, all that sort of stuff that is the parish council
all the
stuff.
corporate policies, everything I would do.
But everything else is what would be covered by whoever the other person is.
I would just say when we come back to this in September, and I make myself available on the 27th evening, is what if, when Deb gets her hands on it, this takes her 5 hours a week? So, because,
Our contract will be 2 hours a week.
but then it's not being updated. So we're asking for everything to be updated, but she says, I can't do that, I can only do 2 hours work because that's our contract. We need to think about how we handle it, but we can discuss that in September.
I think we could go on and on for hours with this discussion. I think it's Charlie meets up with you if you're available on the 27th.
Yeah, can we do the 27th? In the
Yeah,
evening?
if that's possible, then we can take this back to the 2nd of September. Sorry, yeah. All agree with that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, we could be on it for hours. Yeah.
I'll send you an email.
So Charlie to meet up. Well, talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Right. Number 7D, powered electric vehicles on the green. Charlie.
That was mine. So a number of us councillors observed that one of our residents on, I think it was the village, Music on the Green, using a powered electric vehicle. Now, to put this in context, the gentleman in question is disabled, uses an electric vehicle. However, this was more reminiscent of a 4x4 quad bike that he was using on the village green to go up and around all the park equipment. He was going quite fast around all the park equipment, kind of going over the bumps to enjoy it. At one point, we were on the dance floor. He went straight through all of us dancers. It kind of, I did speak with him, and he did accept he should be doing, and he has reached out to a number of us after the fact, which is fantastic. However, I think we need to think about how we address that for future events, because that was when we were there. But what about the park today? We have notices to say no dogs. How should we handle this? Now, I did look up the regulation, and Class 3 vehicles, which are motorised, can be used on village green spaces and parks up to a maximum limit of 4 miles per hour. So we have to accept them, which is absolutely fine, but the speed he was going was definitely more than 4 miles an hour. Actually, using it like a racetrack rather than just going to the different areas was an issue. So
First time I've seen it either.
So it's not the first. So, and it's just, it was more, the children were running around playing, and as I said, going straight through us on the dance floor. They were back to him, and he's accepted that maybe he shouldn't have done it. But it just kind of stemmed for, do we need to be more mindful of accessibility to green? We absolutely want people to be using their electric motorised vehicles on the green, because it's a great way to move around. But there also needs to be stipulations to say this isn't a play park for electric vehicles. So
I think it's once in a blue moon anyway, he's going to be there on the green, so if he ever,
Well, it's not
if we ever,
it will be other people.
no, that's the only one, because you don't get a wheelchair doing 25 mile an hour like his vehicle going up and down the green.
It's not, you're talking about just one person. We don't know what will come tomorrow or the next day or the next month.
The only way you can stop that is get a sign put out there, but will they adhere to it? That's any trouble.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I think we need to consider what we're doing, especially for events. But if like Jonathan, if you've seen other times that happening, it wasn't just that once in a blue moon. So
He does it when he works here, works in the shop, doesn't he? So he might go up and down it.
Yeah, I've seen some children being scattered, little children literally being scattered as he tears through the middle. And it is, like Charlie said, at speed. And I think it's the speed that's the issue, not that he's there, it's the speed.
How does he get in there? How does he get in?
Through the gate, it fits through the gate.
Yeah. I think it's more a conversation with that individual. Because we can't restrict people using.
No.
but do we need to remind them
It's the
it's
speed,
4 miles
the
per
speed
hour?
that he's using.
We need to remind them it's 4 miles per hour.
4 miles an hour's too quick. It's pretty.
But that's legislation, so we cannot stop them. So, and I wouldn't, this sounds awful, I don't want to stop people coming in, so
No,
my
it's just
aunt
a
has a
safety
motorised vehicle, I would want her to be able to use the green. But if she got a vehicle that could exceed 4 miles per hour, which class 3
Most wheelchairs do.
but the class 3 can go up to 8 miles an hour, but on village greens and public spaces like this, they have to be put into the mode that says 4 miles an hour. So
There's no motor.
There are regulations, so you can't.
It's just slow and it's got a thing on their dial that says a snail and a rabbit. That's it, you just turn it like
I'm
that.
assuming it's snail.
It doesn't say even a snail's 5-6 mile an hour.
Doesn't tell you that.
Even a snail's 5-6
I
mile
think
an hour.
it's a tortoise, isn't it?
Yeah.
But where
So,
does
yeah.
it stand if someone gets hurt on the village green and we've allowed them to, we haven't conveyed that there is a limit on there?
So you
Is
should,
that their responsibility or is that, I don't know where it sits, so.
Bob,
Is it worth maybe asking the Somerset Playing Fields Association if they have any advice? As
Yeah,
as
that's a
they
really good idea.
Because to be fair to the individual, as Charlie said, he has made contact with people after the event and has accepted the fact that what he did
Absolutely,
wasn't, and he's
Yeah.
well aware. So but I think for future we can get some information from them.
he's one of the nicest chaps you can meet as well, sort of thing, and he is, Right,
It's
okay.
definitely fine.
Anything else on the powered vehicles?
Where do I get one?
Right, 8, matters of report and agenda items for the 2nd of September. No decisions, it says here.
Did you read the report we had, the annual report?
The plane,
Yes,
I have
That's a
lots of
different,
notes.
that's a different,
Yeah.
different organisation did it previously.
Yeah.
So that'll be on the agenda for September.
So it's at the Somerset playing fields one.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so there's quite a few things on it.
So it's a different looking report, but it did the same job, but it's slightly different layout.
Okay.
But based on that report, should we be taking some
Sorry?
action now?
Sorry?
Based on that report, should we be taking action now?
What do you think?
It's only 2 weeks till the next meeting,
Yeah.
so.
The way it was written was suggesting we should be doing things now.
Well,
I'll just read out what I noted.
Yeah.
So very, very quickly, there's varying issues on the carousel, the swing, maybe the flooring replacing, the slide climber has issues, the agility climber has issues, the seesaw had, and they've raised this is quite a big one, potential head entrapment issue, and the broken abacus, which, did we put the abacus
That's
on?
done. Finished.
Right, okay, so, but.
Did we try out the seesaw? I thought, yeah. How could you think, what's the head issue on the seesaw?
You can, your head can be
That's
trapped.
because you make them lie down and you bump.
You lie down, well, only if you lie down, you're meant to sit on it.
Head
this is a
entrapment
family
issue.
show.
Sorry, you're still good to me, but Charlie and I tried out all that play equipment, haven't we? And it's all fine.
No, we've known about the roundabout problem.
Yeah.
Forever. And we haven't done anything about it. Right? I think probably what we should do is you've highlighted the report, get the report out, which I'll do in conjunction with my village green, and I'll get that out and I'll do a summary for everybody, like you've done. And then take each item into what we're going to do about it, and then get some action on it.
Cheers, Colin, yeah. Right, okay. Is there anything else?
Nothing.
Nothing else? So,
Nobody else is going.
Anything else for anyone?
Oh, got massive.
Oh, yeah. Amanda?
Yeah, are you doing what is a report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asked on the way in here, by Amy, who is cleaning the toilets again, could I just mention that she's in there again We know that the problem is that the rough sleep rug at the church has been using the toilet, and it looks like a cow's been in there, which we've all witnessed. She said, could you, I just mentioned she is voluntarily doing it again, even though it's a Monday and a Friday, she's doing it, been in there today, just to make sure, because she's worried some little kids or something will go in there and find it in the mess it has been in recently, which is obviously bad.
Yeah, and she's standing in for Jane.
Yes, she is.
Can we do a letter for her to say thank you for her then?
She just asked me, because I was on my way in, to just mention, because we were down here the other day when
She don't normally.
she had the mother and father of a mess.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know how dirty you were from him, yeah. Can we do a letter to say thank you?
We know who she is, do we? I don't know who she is.
She's
Amy.
Jane's sister.
Yes.
Say off camera.
Yeah. Well, is everyone agree with that?
Not cleaning, but
Can everyone
fouling.
we all agree with that? Just to send a letter to say thank you for her?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cheers, Amanda.
Add something to the homelessness. I googled with regards to responsibility, because I know Owen sent us lots of emails with regard to filling out what's happening with regards to the church. I don't know if you're intending to respond back to the individual that raised the issues, or even respond back to the church, but there is a housingjustice.org.uk organisation that can work with them in order to solve problems.
The gentleman in question had about 10 people come up to him, and I was there last Monday just gone, and 2 people came up to him, and he legged it and didn't want to speak to them. So
It's
all
not
these
the-
people.
It's not the homeless that I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
No, but the homeless people have been up there, the council's been up there, the police, everyone's been up there. There's been 5 different types of companies go up there to talk to him about rehoming him. They went to Froome to put him in a home, and he didn't want to do that. He refused to go. So he's been seen by 4 or 5 different companies now.
But I don't
So,
know if it's because it's
yeah.
been addressed to us, whether we need to give a response back to either the church or either to the gentleman.
I've had a conversation with Mike Smith, and I sent him an email.
Okay.
And Mike has come back to me with a very fulsome response about what the church is actually doing. Because I've always made it very clear that at the moment the council is not involved, because this was spurred on by the church. And to be absolutely fair to Mike and his PCC, they've been doing quite a lot actually. They've been amazingly well in trying to get this thing sorted. And I think we've just got to allow them to continue the time that they need to get the problem sorted, because there's no other way. They reported it to police don't know.
They are aware of it.
They are aware of it, but they don't want to know about actually taking the action.
He's not done anything.
No,
No,
exactly.
but it's like Aid said, people are trying to give him a chance to go somewhere, but he doesn't want
They have tried to do it. A lot
Yeah.
of companies have been out there, and spoke to him, even
He
trim
has got
officers
a
and stuff like that.
place. He has got a house or a flat, but he refuses, he doesn't want to live there.
No, he likes it there.
Until the weather.
But yeah, so
If you watch your space, I think it's all we can say.
the only time it becomes a parish issue is when the toilets and if he's in the park. Yeah, we can't do it. Yeah, the green. We can't.
I'm
do
not
it.
saying we
Yeah.
should do anything, that wasn't my point
Yeah.
that I was making.
But that's the only thing we can. The only time we can say anything. Yeah. Cheers, Charlie. Anything else? Jonathan.
I've been having problems with my emails, so when I looked yesterday, like 72 come through, so apologies if I've been radio silent. They won't ping in on my phone. The other one thing I wanted to raise, this Portland Place roadside, that's been down for months. Has that been reported or something? Okay, fine.
Yeah. Was that caused by the electric company?
No,
There was a sign hanging loose somewhere that I've noticed the other day. I went past it. That was caused by them.
So the street name signs aren't responsible to Somerset Council. They're aware that that one's missing. There's a Coombe site one which we've reported. There's the one that's watching on Brent Street. They are all on their list.
Right, okay. Yeah.
It's regular chasing. But
Okay.
I can't give you any positive news at the moment.
That's all right.
Anything else? Colin, did you put your hand up down?
Yeah, have you got anything? Yes, can I put the start of the footpath that leads up by the church, where the National Power put a new pole in. It's a real mess. Most uninviting for any visitors that use that path. and we need to resurrect the old kissing gate and put some fence across there and tidy it up, because it's not very nice, that area.
Okay.
Please, so that for the next meeting.
Yeah. Anything else? No? Charlie? No? Me? No. Willie? Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And the meeting is officially over. Thank you.